What's up, everyone? It's Davin here from Alpha Cybersecurity, and I'm here today to announce the new InfoSec Unplugged channel here on YouTube. Now, for those of you who are new, InfoSec Unplugged is my award-winning weekly live stream podcast, where I interview professionals and go beyond the technical aspects of the tech and cybersecurity field. Together, we delve into the people side of things, exploring their career journeys, the latest trends in tech, and most importantly, their why. The motivations and passions that drive them in their work. And we do this live with our audience that we call the Pack. Now, for the Pack members, don't worry. I'm not stopping the live show. I repeat, I am not stopping the live show. The live show will still happen every week on the Alpha Cybersecurity channel. And the live show is great, and I love y'all for the support. But it's what happens after the live show that I'm worried about. You see, YouTube does something weird with the algorithm, and it doesn't really pick up on the replays of live streams. So what we decided we're going to do here is, after every live episode, we're going to take it, edit it down, and repurpose it as a podcast. This way, no one will miss out on the amazing guests and the amazing information that they're sharing. Not only will you get their unique and personal perspectives on the industry, they'll also offer valuable insights into the challenges and opportunities in the field. And as an added bonus, you're going to get some behind the scenes footage and some things that you may not have seen on the live stream over here as well. So make sure to catch us live and join the Pack on Thursdays on the Alpha Cybersecurity channel. And then make sure you subscribe here to get the behind the scenes stuff and the podcast on the new InfoSec Unplugged YouTube channel. So y'all take care, and I'll see you Thursday. Welcome, everybody. It's Thursday. You know what that means. It's another episode of InfoSec Unplugged. I am your humble and gracious host, Davin Jackson. Again, I know you can be anywhere in the world. It's towards the end of the week, but I'm glad you're here with me. So we're just going to get right into it. Before I bring on my guests, I want to say a huge heartfelt thank you to everybody who watched last week's episode and, sent me messages, sent support, sent words of encouragement. I greatly appreciate it. Like I said, it's definitely going to be a new venture for me, starting the whole eSports and tech training center and everything like that. But like I said, I'm just glad to know that I have some great people, behind me, beside me, and just wanting to root for me. So I greatly appreciate all of you. But we're not going to get into all of that this week. For International Women's Day, which was earlier this week, as well as International Women's Month, I had to get two amazing boss ladies on the show to talk about what they're doing in the cybersecurity space, how they're bringing a gaming element to what they're doing and bringing more diversity and more youth and just making it real fun. So I'm going to shut up now, and I'm going to bring on my first guest, which is a friend of the show, the CEO of the Women's Society of Cyberjutsu and a sales engineer for Palo Alto. So ladies and gentlemen, everybody watching, please welcome back Mary Galloway. If I can bring you on, I'm a little rusty. It's been a while. But welcome to the show, Mary. Thank you for joining. Welcome back, I should say.
Yes, welcome. I'm super excited to be here today. Yes, this conversation is going to be great. So,
yes, I know. Like I said, I definitely when I saw you announced that you were bringing it, I said, okay, we got to make sure we shed some light on it. And as an added bonus, I also wanted to bring in someone who I've come to know recently. She is the CEO of Katzcy and also the commissioner for the U.S. Cyber Games. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome new friend to the show, Jessica Gulick. We're going to go ahead and see, I had to bring in the gaming side of it. So, welcome, Jessica. How you ladies doing today?
Doing good.
That is awesome. I see. I'm gonna go ahead and put you on the full screen, Jessica, so you can see the whole setup here.
Oh yeah.
You got the whole gaming setup. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all.
I'm backwards today, though. Let me flip it here. Here we go.
Oh, there it goes. Okay, so it all works out. All right, so ladies, again, if you aren't familiar with the show, I'm having technical difficulties. Right, this is what happens when you take 10 months off or 9 months off. So InfoSec Unplugged is the live show. We get to talk about you, the guest, talk about your experiences, but most importantly, talk about what you're doing in the cybersecurity industry and how you're making it awesome. So we're going to start with Jess, since this is your first time here. Go ahead and give us, your origin story, how you got started, and and a little bit about yourself.
How I got started. So way back when, no. I like most people in cybersecurity nowadays, it was roundabout, right? So I was in Germany working for a company called SAIC, and a gentleman walked me down to the basement and said, "This is a security office." Showed me what an SSP looked like, and we were going through the importance of it and everything. He's like, "You really should get into this business." I'm like, "Yeah, no, you're in the basement. There's no windows." And sure enough, came back to the States and started working State Department and disaster recovery and then security programs reviews, and um, ended up at SAIC and working as a certification and accreditation project manager, and then kind of moving up the chain till I got this knock on the door. "Hey, you want to do marketing?" And I'm like, "Yeah, no, thank you." And then a couple of knocks later, it's like, "Yeah, no, seriously, come over here." And started doing cybersecurity marketing, but started in games. And this was back in the day when we and myself and several others at SAIC got together with others outside in Maryland through a public-private relationship, and were able to start the Maryland Cyber Challenge and Conference, MDC3. And I fell in love with games. I absolutely did. They changed lives. Fast forward, I now run my own business. I'm all about cyber as a sport. And lately, I've got the stuff going on here. Join us for Wicked 6. This is our women's program. I'm sure we'll talk about it a little later. We've got the US Cyber Games Season 3 coming out, and we've got our International Championship in August. So a lot going on around cybersecurity and games.
Nice. So we're gonna go ahead and do another applause, because I like the, I like the flex at the end about on my own. I started my own business. So, and Mary, I know you've been on a bit, but what have you been up to? I mean, for those who don't know you, you can reintroduce yourself. But for those, what's been going on with you, ma'am?
A lot of stuff. So for those that don't know, I run a business too. I work for Palo Alto as a sales engineer selling SOC automation tools. So if you're interested in learning more about that, let me know. With Cyberjutsu, though, we've got some training programs coming up. We've got Wicked 6 coming up. We're finalizing our conference plan. So if you have not submitted a CFP for Cyberjutsu Con, please do so. If you haven't submitted your nomination for the awards, please do so. We want to see all of you speak at the event in June in Northern Virginia. What else? Small Tribes is coming out later in this year. We're in a cohort right now. So that's our mentorship program to help mentor the next generation of cybersecurity talent. What else is going on? A lot of other things are going on. I don't know. There's just a lot happening. I'm writing a book. I'm writing 2 books right now because I have a lot of time to write books. Speaking engagements, that kind of stuff.
No,
that's about it.
Well, we're gonna go ahead and applaud that too, because I don't have the time.
I don't either. I'm trying to find it, but I learned something yesterday on a panel that I was looking at. We have 168 hours in the week, I guess. We have about 70 of those hours that we can use for ourselves. We're either sleeping or we can use that for ourselves. So we actually do have a lot of time, a lot more time than we realize.
Right. No, it's true. And I feel like, I'm personally attacked with the, setting up of the CFPs and everything for Cyberjutsu Con. I'm going to get it in, I promise. So, okay. So you both alluded to it. So I guess we can just jump right in. So we have the Wicked 6 24-hour all-woman CTF event coming up at the end of the month. I'm super excited for you ladies. I can't join, but that's okay. It's okay.
Well, you can join and
You can
watch.
join.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm definitely gonna join and watch and support. No. But you know what? I'm actually super excited for it. I think it's definitely necessary and needed in this space. I know there's probably some people out there like, whatever, but we don't care about that. But for those who aren't familiar, why don't you ladies go ahead and just, talk about what Wicked Six is and why it came up and why it's necessary. And, if you want to go into detail, so anyone can go first.
I'll
I'll let
let Mary
Jessica
tell the
go.
origin story.
Jeez,
No,
you tell it
I don't
better.
think this year.
You want to do it?
No, I'm
Okay,
happy
fine.
to.
I will.
Okay, there you
Uh,
go.
So, if for those that don't know, Jessica is also on the board of Cyberjutsu, and before COVID happened, she came to me and said, "Hey, let's do this event where we have like a combine or some kind of draft or something that's sports related, but bringing it into the cybersecurity space." And Jessica, being an athlete, playing basketball and other sports that she's played, she wanted to bring that same kind of atmosphere, environment, enthusiasm to cybersecurity in the form of a game. And so Wicked Six was born out of this. You wanted a cool name, but something that signified what was really going on. And she wanted to bring the eSports in to cybersecurity to make it fun, to make it inviting, and especially right now because esports is a really, really big thing. And so Wicked Six means what we did in 2019 was we recruited a bunch of college teams, co-ed college teams, to compete virtually um, for the course of like a week or a month or something like that. And then from those teams playing these different cyber competitions and games, we would choose the top six. So that's where the Wicked Six piece comes from. Those six teams flew out to Las Vegas during Black Hat and DEF CON and competed head to head on the stage at the HyperX Arena here in Las Vegas. So if you have not been to the HyperX Arena, it's in the Luxor. It's a fantastic space. They have huge monitors and screens where you can watch people play these games, and they have these different competitions there. And if you're a gamer yourself, you can just go in and play, Xbox, computer games, PlayStation, whatever it is that you want to do. And so it was a really cool experience. They had jerseys, we had, fans in the crowd, cheering each other on, picking their favorite teams. There was shoutcasters. And it was a really engaging day to bring exposure to cybersecurity for those that may not have known. It morphed because of COVID, right? So 2019, we did it. The next 2 years, it went away because COVID was happening. And Jessica said, okay, let's try this again. And last year we started it as a part of the the Global Cyber League, as a division of that, to bring in women from around the world, not just to play the games, but to also be speakers. And what's cool about it now is that we have speakers that will come on at various times throughout the day in different time zones. Some of them will be in the native language that they speak in that time zone, further, extending the reach of cybersecurity into those cultures, into those countries that may not have had that exposure before. And I think last year we had a couple of teams that played for like 24 hours the whole time. And I'll let Jessica talk about that part because she has those details.
No, definitely. As a matter of fact, I just want to say real quick, again, I'm out of practice, so I'm still getting used to the buttons. They changed it around. For those who don't know, we are streaming on Restream. So we are here. We are streaming live on YouTube, Twitch, and LinkedIn all at the same time. And I'm still a bit rusty. I'm getting used to the buttons. They added some updates, but if you want more information on Restream, you can let me know on the side. I love it personally. It makes my job a lot easier when I'm, good at what I do. But and to real quick before I go with my follow-up question, shout out to the pack. I love y'all. I love y'all. I am not ignoring you. We are going to do things a little bit differently because I want my guests to kind of get their stories out and get everything out. I think it's super important that you hear about what's going on with the US Cyber Games and Wicked Six, and what these ladies are bringing here. And if we have some time at the end, I will put any questions up. However, I do see some people ask some questions already, and Mary, I think, already answered one of them. So again, I'm not ignoring you. I'm getting back used to the buttons, and like I said, I want to make sure we get everything out. So anyway, so Jess,
I feel like you're talking to Eric.
huh?
Wait, are you talking to Eric? You sound like you're talking to Eric.
Am I talking? No, no. Eric is definitely in the chat, and I'll see if I can bring him up online shortly. But follow-up question for you, Jess. So Mary alluded to when you came up with the idea to do this, you wanted to bring the sports element to it. That was something I think at that time that was really unheard of. So why how did you come up with that idea, and why was it so important to kind of give it that, I guess, that sports element feel?
For a couple of different reasons, and it comes down to inclusion, diversity, more reach into the community, if you will. But it also comes down to better teamwork makes better cybersecurity, right? And being someone who has led teams before for penetration testing, etc., what I've learned is that it's not always about the individual hacker. It's about how good and how strong the team is. And bringing athletics into the mix helps us bring some of the qualities, characteristics, values that athletics offers into the discussion of cybersecurity and what the core skills should be. So you see teamwork, you see loving your passes, giving information over, you see having a role, and helping to bring some of those elements of sportsmanship into cybersecurity. Now, from the diversity standpoint, it's really, I'm a big believer that, sorry, y'all, I'm hearing that you guys are having some audio.
Yeah, I think we're having some technical difficulties on your end. It looks like it's like choppy and going in and out. But so
Really?
like I said, I'll see what's going on with that. But like I said, I definitely like the idea of having that sports element, and one of the, just to kind of segue into something that I was doing when I decided to come up with the esports thing that I'm trying to come up with for the kids is, there are a lot of people who want to be athletes,
Right.
and can't be athletes for whatever reason, or they maybe they're not athletic enough, or they're not social, or whatever it is, physical ailments or what have you, that kind of have them left out. And by treating them as athletes, it makes them feel a part of something. It makes them feel like they belong, and it makes them feel like a part of, a part of a tribe, or a part of a family, a part of a team. And
Exactly.
I think that is super, super important. So, so yeah, kudos to you for having the, the presence of mind to say, what, no, let's make it that way and make them feel like they belong. Because let's face it, at some point we were all ostracized or something off into the corner because we were nerds or whatever the case may be. And even in the nerd community, there was still like separation. I'm not a nerd. Oh, you're a nerd. You're Star Trek versus Star Wars, or it was a whole lot. But bringing that element of team, I think is special in what you're doing with cybersecurity games, as well as just kind of the esports thing altogether. So kudos to you for that. And now you mentioned about having the whole combine element and then the HyperX arena.
Yeah.
I remember when esports first got started, and it was like on the fringe, right? And now you have a HyperX arena in Vegas where you can have esports. How hard was it to now say, okay, so hear me out, esports, but with a hacker cybersecurity twist on it? How difficult was that to kind of to sell to?
I just got to say, I love that you think that it's sold. Still working on that one. No, seriously, the esports community have been very kind and very much welcoming to us, bringing cyber games. It's actually the cybersecurity players that are like, I don't really know about this esport thing. But it works. It works because it's not always about the visual. you're right. It's not as cybersecurity is not as visual as you will an esport game. But when you're talking to our fandom, when you're talking to cybersecurity professionals, they're looking at the visuals on the screen and those are real. They understand them. It makes sense to them. They're still shoulder surfing, right? And they're still getting value out of that. And the shoutcasting, with folks like Eric and Neil and IBSEC and John Hammond, those really provide an additional layer of understanding about what's going on the screen. And the beauty is, for so many years in cyber competitions, the players have gone to a facility and played a game, and they've gotten value out of it, and that's great. But now what we're doing is we're getting the whole community to watch. What are they doing? Now the whole community is creating a fandom. The whole community is starting to talk about the power of blue teams. What's a purple team? What tools do you need? And we're starting to demystify what cybersecurity is. And the more we do that, the more that we can be inclusive of the whole community.
Absolutely.
And so the esports is bringing the fun and the sexiness, if you will. But there's a lot that the esport community has done across the nation, if not the entire world, that really has opened up cybersecurity for us. The arenas, for one, the clubs, right? This idea of teaming online, the fact that the National High School Association recognizes esports as an athletic program opens doors, and scholarship money. The fact that we have nation versus nation competing in cybersecurity in a fun educational way is opening up not just doors for those people participating, but it's creating inspiration for the entire nation. You saw that in soccer, by the way, just to bring another athletic. Nelson Mandela with soccer, right? Bringing the groups together, using athletics to bring people together and to bring energy and goodness to the world. We're doing that now in cybersecurity as well. And it's exciting to see this form.
Yeah, I think two things that come to mind when I talk about cybersecurity, or even when I try to stream it or teach it to other people. One, it, like you said, it demystifies the aura that is cybersecurity, right? Everybody thinks you have to be this super elite, you can talk to computers and everything, Skynet, Terminator type
Get your hoodie on.
Yeah. Let's not forget the hoodie. And the other one is like I think, like you mentioned, the representation. When I did a talk back in 2020, which was inspired from my son's esports league that he was in. They were going over strategies for Fortnite, and while they were going over the strategies for Fortnite, I'm sitting there going, this actually sounds like the 5 phases of a penetration test. You jump, when you jump off the bus and you start to analyze the area that you're information gathering. When you start, moving further on and you start looking like, okay, this house looks like it's been busted up. This tree has been knocked down. These mats have been taken. These cases have been open. That's your active scanning. Or that's your act, you're still scanning. When you see someone, you start shooting from a distance. You're trying to crack their shield. Now you're testing for vulnerabilities. Shield is cracked. They're vulnerable. You pull out the bigger weapon, because I don't want to say that and then scare off the YouTube algorithm. You pull out the bigger weapon when they're vulnerable. Pop. Now they're exploited. They leave their materials on the floor. Now you're looting and you're elevating privileges, and you keep going. And at the very end of the match, when you get your stats, that's your report. So I took that and I gave a talk at the Blacks in Cybersecurity first, and then I think Philip Wiley invited me on, and I did a talk with him, and then I just kind of did it locally, and I thought it didn't go well personally, because I didn't get a lot of feedback from it. But then I would run into people, and they're like I ran into like a CISO one day, and he's like, I've been in tech for like 30 years, and I've been trying to get my kids involved. And, just for S&Gs, I showed them your video, and now they want to know everything about penetration testing.
Right.
And it was like, and I think I think by doing that, my goal, which I hope I accomplish, was to show them that A, it's really not that hard, and B, you already have the skills. Now it's just taking that. It's just taking that mindset and that reaction time that you have on the screen,
Situational awareness, yeah.
and now just instead of a controller, or instead of using 4 or 5 buttons on a keyboard, now you're using the keys, and now you just have to learn the command. And I think that resonated very well. And I think what you ladies are doing is definitely going to help resonate with that, because when you talk to people about cybersecurity and stuff, the first thing they do is, no, that's hard. That's out of my league. I know, because I was that kid. So, so what we're going to do here is, before we bring on our special guest, we're going to come right back with Jess and Mary and our guest. But first, I want to go ahead and highlight this week's affiliate, which is NordVPN. So hold on one second. I'm still getting used to the buttons. Here we go.
Stuck at home? Make the most of the internet with NordVPN. As you're trying out new apps to save you from boredom, NordVPN will make sure that your data is always protected. And you can still travel, well, virtually, by connecting to VPN servers in almost 60 countries. Up for a new gaming challenge? Make sure that cyber threats don't get in your way. Feeling curious? Access the news from all over the world firsthand. Get the app now. NordVPN. Online security starts with a click.
All right, so thank you to NordVPN for the affiliate link, and I do have to say this for legal purposes. Anytime you use that link, if you do purchase a Nord product, we do get a small commission, and it goes back to helping the show and helping everything that we're doing with the eSport Center that I'm opening up this summer. So now, with that being said, I'm going to bring in our special guest real quick, and I'm going to have him come on, and I actually owe him some smoke because we had a call earlier and he made fun of me. So, ladies and gentlemen, everybody watching, please welcome my guest, Eric Bellardo. Eric, hold on. No, you don't get an applause because I'm still mad at you.
Come on, everybody in the audience. Come on, give me an applause, okay?
No, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Okay, Eric, go ahead and introduce yourself really quick.
Hello. Well, I am Eric Bellardo. I am the founder and executive director of Raíces Cyber, the international Hispanic, Latino, Latina, and Latinx association in cybersecurity.
Okay, there you go. So Eric wanted to jump on because Eric is also, you know what?
And a proud supporter of the U.S. Cyber Games.
We haven't even talked about that yet.
Well, which is why we're going to go right into it. So now, Jess, not only are you helping, you helped create and you help with Mary doing the Wicked Six event, you also are the commissioner for the U.S. Cyber Games, and you are also the CEO of Play Cyber. So I assume that was just a natural transition once you started with the Wicked Six and everything, but I'm not going to assume anything. I'm going to let you tell the story and go right ahead and talk about how that got started and, again, the importance of it.
Yeah, so Anissa out of Europe, they have their annual competition for Europe, and they reached out to the United States and said, hey, do you want to come play? Let's do international games. We had the opportunity here in the US to create our own program. So we looked across and we're like, okay, so how do we scout the nation for a top talent? And again, once again, you know, looking at athletic programs, looking at football and baseball, we said, why don't we do something very similar? Let's start with an open that's free for anybody who wants to compete. Let them apply for consideration, and then go to a combine. A combine, if you're familiar with the football, if not, maybe you're familiar with like how fast can you run a 40-yard dash or how high can you jump. For us, it's a virtual camp, if you will, where we evaluate skills in forensics, web security, teamwork, leadership, etc. And the coaches are watching and they're interacting with these students that are, you know, anywhere from like 16, 17 to 25. And throughout this whole program, they're taking notes. We go into a coach summit, if you will. Imagine all the coaches in a room going through all these profiles and data of all the players, and ultimately go to draft day. And that's where Eric comes in. And Eric was a fantastic MC for last year's draft day, and very NFL style. We identify who is going to be on the team. This year, we have 30 individuals on the team. And then those that have some of the skills but not quite ready to be on the team, we entered into a pipeline program. So they're training alongside our team. They don't travel. They don't get as many of the perks, but they're still getting access to the coaches and to some of that training and certification capabilities that our sponsors provide. So it's a fantastic way for us to go across the nation, whether or not you're in school, regardless of which college or university, and select the best talent to work together as a team. And then the season's about a year long. We get to travel internationally, representing the nation abroad in both Capture the Flag and Red versus Blue, which is truly exciting. And it's a wonderful international community to be part of. Kudos to, again, the Women's Society of Cyberjutsu who is our fiscal sponsor for the program, to help us keep it so that it's nonprofit. So really appreciate their support. But it's a wonderful program. Season 3 is just around the corner. Starts on June 1st, and we have a call for coaches right now. So if you're out in the audience and you want to be a tech mentor, you want to be a coach, go to uscybergames.com and please apply. And we can get you information on what the commitment is, et cetera. We're looking for folks that are just available during the summer who want to be part of it all year long. Expertise in cyber games, all kinds, as well as the typical areas of crypto, forensics, web security, binary exploitation, forensics. Help me out here. I think that was it. And back in defense. I'm sure I missed one. Reverse engineering. So thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to put it out there.
No, absolutely. When I think the first time I saw it, I saw Eric and Neil. I think Ty Wilson was on the draft. And the first thing that came to my mind was like, yeah, this is just like a sporting event. This is like the NFL draft. And I love the fact that you have essentially the practice squad, right? So those who aren't quite, ready to be there, but you did acknowledge their strengths and the fact that they, put in the effort and the time and dedication to be there. So now they still get to be a part of it. A lot of people look at like the practice squad or like the bench or whatever, and it's like, no, you're still a member of the team, and honestly, you're actually helping sharpen the right. I don't want to say the star players, but you're helping, sharpen your teammates. And again, the experience is, especially for this, is what matters, right? You're gaining experience that most of us never got. Like, I mean, you get to compete with some of the best people in the country, you get to compete with other people across the world, so it's definitely something that you really take advantage of.
And I want to do a shout out to,
no, we're not talking to you anymore,
to the coaches of the US Cyber team, these young people working with these caliber coaches that we have in the program are amazing. Coaches from the Naval Academy and some of the other academies in DoD, amazing people.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, shut up. Okay, so a quick backstory. So what happened is, I don't know if everybody saw when I went to the Sands event back in December, I had on a really nice sports jacket, right? It was really nice. It was a little shiny. I had shoes to go with it. And most people liked it, and I got compliments, but somebody decided that they were going to make fun of me. And they said at the next conference they go to, they were going to find some shiny, gaudy suit, and they were going to wear it, and they were going to say that it was inspired by me. So about an hour before we go live, I get a text message like, hey, are you busy? It's Eric. Of course, I'm going to make time for Eric. He's a good friend. And the first thing he does is, hey, go on video. I go on video and I see this. And I don't know if you can see it, but the bow tie lights up.
Oh my gosh, how cool.
So first of all, that's too gaudy. I make it look good and sexy. And
Yes.
and now you have started a war, and now I have to go do something else. So Mary, when I do the CFP, if I come on site to talk, now I'm gonna have to do something else to respond to Eric. So now a beef has started, and it's all Eric's fault. So,
Okay, perfect. Y'all heard it here first. He's going to wear something crazy at CyberJutsu June 24th.
No, but I'm still gonna make it look good though. That's a.
But I'm gonna be there with my jacket at CyberJutsu too.
Okay, so then that means I have to get two now.
Oh,
so moving along with the Wicked 6 24-hour event coming up, Mary. I want you to talk about the importance of having it be, a woman-only event where, again, it's women in the field, women who are interested in the field, or maybe are new to the field, having that sense of belonging and tribe and supporting one another through this event, through the CTF event, even though it is going to be 24 hours and everything. So go right ahead, and I'm going to get Eric off the screen now.
This event, we were like, how do we bring Wicked 6 back? What do we do? And Jessica and I were like, what if we do it global? And let's just, this cybersecurity is a global thing, right? It's not just the US. And so being able to have the global partners and the global teams of women participate in this is really important, because now we're able to see across the entire world that, yes, there is an interest in cybersecurity. There is an interest in learning about this. There's an interest in having these kind of communities to do this kind of learning. I feel like some of the women that have gone through, especially that team last year that did it, they were literally playing the entire time. I feel like it built their confidence. It helped them to realize, yes, I should be in this industry, that I have some talents, and that I can utilize those talents and change my life, right? I think that's what's really, really important. People don't realize that cybersecurity can literally change somebody's life. They can go from making $20,000 a year to making $80,000 a year.
Talk about it.
By changing careers into cybersecurity, even if it's just a basic entry-level job, they can completely change their life. And that's what's important about having these kind of events, to give them that exposure and to just help boost that confidence they have and help build their network of supporters and cheerleaders and allies.
Yes, no, absolutely. Hold on. Go ahead, Jess.
I was gonna say, Mary, I don't know if you want to read just that little note. I wouldn't, say who it's from, but I put it in chat for you. If you want, I can read it out.
Go for it.
It probably sounds weird if you're reading it yourself. Hi, Mary. You were the one who interviewed me and added me to the VCSA reskilling program last year. I'm so grateful to you for changing my life. This is a huge career pivot for me, and I worked really hard to pass my GFAT, GSEC, and GCIH. This week, I got 2 job offers and just signed a contract with a great company. I know you have a full-time job, because we all know Mary has a couple of full-time jobs, and that things like this are how you spend your free time. And it was just really a warm success story that we heard from folks about how these kind of programs that we're investing our time in are really changing lives.
Yeah. I almost cried on that when I read it. I was like, "Aw." Yeah.
No, I think that's super important, and thank you for sharing.
You let him back in.
The people in the chat seem to like them.
You give your audience what they want.
But no, thank you for sharing that, and thank you, for that. That definitely hit home for me, and I know it resonates with a lot of people. When I got into tech, and I don't talk about it much, but when I got into tech, I was definitely at a crossroads in my life, and it was like I could do this or I can do something else. And again, for the sake of the YouTube algorithm, I won't divulge what those choices were. But like I said, my wife, who has definitely been my rock that stands beside me, well, actually, she stood behind me, and not in a chauvinistic way. She stood behind me so she could put her foot in my ass. But she was the one that was a deciding factor, and from there it allowed me to do so much. And then jumping into cybersecurity, it literally changed the trajectory of my life. And again, the reason why I'm here doing this today and being able to do the things that I want to do in the future down the line is because of my crusty little laptop that I have in a drawer somewhere that's a keepsake now, that I keep now with me to remind me of where I came from, and every once in a while I update it and refresh it, but show it a little bit of love. But it's important to do that, and again, the representation that you ladies are doing with the cyber games and Wicked Six, and having people share those stories. Not only, and I'm not trying to get away from the game of the gamification of it, but I think those stories from people who look and sound just like them does something, right? Like last year, I kept saying it can be us, it has to be us, because I can't go into a Wicked Six event and say, yeah, ladies, you can do it. I could, but they're gonna look at me and like, shut up, right?
Not that
I can do it.
But so to have that representation there is important, and again, it also builds that sense of unity and that sense of tribe in a community that we desperately need.
But we need you. We need you there too. You're an ally, right? So
absolutely.
The world isn't just women only, right? We have to expose expose the people to what it's like in the real world, which means you're going to be working with men, women,
right.
all different races, all different identities. So you're gonna have to get used to it.
Right.
But you have this safe space to learn.
I want to interject quickly. You asked Mary earlier, and why is it women only, etc. And kudos to Mary, because she pointed this out. I don't know if it was a year ago or 2 years. Everything kind of just rolls together at this point. But this tribe concept is really critical to women, and getting women into cyber. And the reason why Wicked Six works. Wicked Six is not your CCDC. It's not your Cyber Patriot. It's not a tournament where you come out and you're incredibly competitive. Wicked Six is a 24-hour hack and chat. It's about women coming together as a tribe, right? Mm-hmm. And the more we can provide environments where women can come together, meet. We had over 200 women play games for the first time last year in cybersecurity. And it's because it goes back to what you were saying, Davin, when you're like, think about it. When was the first time you played an eSport game? What did you do? Did you just crash on somebody's couch and said, how do I play this? Give me the handle. Let me figure this out. Right. But you weren't alone necessarily. At least most people aren't. They're, if they're with their brother, their sister, their parents, a friend, a neighbor, they come into a game to say, what is this all about? You can do this. I can do this, kind of thing. And that's what, not only Wicked Six, but it's really what the Women's Society of Cyberjutsu fully embraces. Is that you don't have to do this alone, Mrs. You have a tribe. We can go together. And we're all about trying to create that environment, whether it's at Wicked Six, whether it's at Cyberjutsu Con, which is our major conference for the year, or if it's, any monthly kind of thing that we're doing, or we're going to RSA, Black Hat, et cetera, where there's a tribe, we're there to support each other. And that's why you have women's programs, because that's what women really respond to. Is I don't need to go this alone. I want a wingman, right? I want to be with somebody else too.
Yep, absolutely. Again, I'm assuming I can't speak for a woman, but yes, I agree 100%. For more information, you can register for Wicked Six at wickedsix.com/register. And then just to your point, to build off of that with the cyber games, again, bringing that sports element to it. I remember, a couple weeks ago, I actually went to a Call of Duty tournament with my son, and It was for it was a HBCU tournament, and even though they were on opposite teams, they were friends, right? So yes, they talked their trash, which was entertaining. They talked their trash, they did their taunting, they got through their games, but at the end, they sat down together, they were talking. Even when they interviewed with the casters, they talked about how, yeah, we're in a private chat together, we practice all the time. It brings that sense of community that I think we so desperately need, not just in cybersecurity, but I just think we just need it all over again, right? Not to talk about what I'm doing, but the reason why I felt like I wanted to do the esports and tech center was because I remember being a young kid a very long time ago. No, and going to the arcade, right? And you go, yes, I have video games at home. I can practice at home, but I would get on the bus and I would take the bus up to the mall or take the bus downtown because those were where the two big arcades were. And I would sit there, go find my favorite game, put my quarter down, and I got next. And you would go and it was a competitive feel, right? So everybody's talking trash, everybody's whatever, but at the end they're like, man, that was great. Hey, how'd you do this combo? You know what? Are you going to be here next week? Okay, here, take my number. So then we can coordinate what time we can meet together, or we'll both catch the bus together or meet at the bus terminal when we catch the transfer. Again, I'm showing my age. But again, it was that sense of community, right? People from different neighborhoods, different walks of life, and they're all meeting in the same place for the one thing that they all have in common. And with the cyber games, as well as Wicked Six, or just this community in general, I think that would again help bring it together and just, I guess, just demystify this whole thing. Because now if there's someone that they say, okay, I'm in Atlanta, but I know another person that I met at a hacking conference, or that I met at a tournament, a CTF, that lives overseas or lives on the West Coast. I can link up with them and say, hey, can we meet up online and practice or something? I think that is super important, and bringing not only the sports element to it, but the gamification process. But speaking on the gamification process, what challenges do you see when trying to bring that gaming element, right? Because for me, what I've noticed is you don't want it to be too gamey, because if it's too gamey, then it takes away from the actual hands-on skills that they should be learning. And if you make it too technical, depending on the audience sometimes, especially if it's someone that kids or teens that you're trying to introduce into cyber, they might get scared away. So how do you find that balance when you're trying to gamify cybersecurity training and CTFs?
I'll let Jessica take that one.
Still figuring it out. No, it's an important balance. It's when you look at the capture the flag community and the way it has grown over the last decade, you really have to respect the culture of the game, right? It really has a strong following, and there's a reason for it. And there's, of course, a tremendous amount of discussion back and forth about exactly what you're saying. How much of it is more puzzle versus skills that you can use in a job? And the reality is you still want to keep it fun, but you still want to do some alignment. So it's about mixing it up. That's why I really enjoy more of the competitions that have different pieces to it, if you will. So like with the international games, we'll have the red versus blue, we'll have the capture the flag, you'll have some kind of hardware challenge, some kind of escape room going on. And it really kind of brings in different angles of it that not only help it be fun, but it helps bring out different skill sets and different magic qualities, if you will, in the players. And I think that's really about trying to create the mix. I think we have a long way to go till we have a cyber sport. We're definitely setting the foundation now. A sport to me really gets into it whenever you have skills that you can hone through clubs, through practices, etc. And right now, there's still a lot of challenges in the cybersecurity games, but a lot of progress is being made the more and more we can bring attention to it. But you're right, trying to keep it fun. But there are some elements, some easy ones, the point scoring, the prizes, the roles, the gimmicks, if you will, the refs, the shoutcasting. It all really kind of goes into it. There's some incredibly creative people out there that are creating some amazing visuals around cybersecurity training and cyber games and such that we're seeing more and more. So I just can't wait. I can't wait for the future. The next 10 years for cyber games, it is just going to blow up in such amazing ways to watch it really start to gamify and be even more fun and cybersecurity as entertainment.
Nice. I like that. So before I jump into the next question, though, I think Eric's bow tie kind of like flashed and I got like hypnotized for a second. I meant to ask you though, what can we expect in the upcoming season for the US Cyber Games?
Ooh. More women. Mary and I are talking. We're talking with some other organizations how we can bring more girls and women into the program. Maybe some special summer camps. I would see that we're really starting to get a strong foundation on the program now on how to leverage volunteers as coaches and tech mentors and such. I would say more games. If I can have my way, if we can find the sponsors, more streaming, more games, more country versus country, more excellent discussions. We had Gwen, who's on our team right now. She did a fabulous job at a webinar as part of the Play Cyber Global League, where she basically walked through how she did a challenge. More content, more stories about the players that really want to talk about their history. We'll respect those that don't. And the international games, I can't say it enough. We have the international championships for cybersecurity happening in San Diego this year. That means we have 64 countries, if not more, coming together, organized into 8 regional teams so far that are going to be competing head to head. And it is going to be glorious. We have stadium seating. It's going to be fans, live streaming. We'll have music, DJs, etc. It's going to be very different. And a great way to have a festival around cybersecurity, to really celebrate the art of cybersecurity, the trade craft that we have, and the amazing market that's really been created around cyber ranges, cyber exercises, cyber training, cyber certifications. This whole market has really blossomed in the last, I want to say, 3-4 years.
Absolutely. Do you have the dates for the cyber games?
I do. I also have the website ic3.games, and it's going to be held August 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. That is the week before Black Hat in San Diego. So you can stop there. We'll be at the beautiful Torrey Pines, right there where they play a PGA tournament on the water in San Diego. And we're going to have a wonderful week of it. Should be really special.
You said ic3.games?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'm going to put that in the chat right now.
Fantastic.
And
definitely register to attend. We'll be live streaming. Be excellent.
I'll be there, Jessica. That's before my cruise.
Excellent. We'll put you to work.
I think I might show up too. We'll see.
We'll be put to work too.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Clearly.
Yeah. We still got to talk. You too, Eric, wherever you are with your bow tie.
Yeah. He keeps jumping on. You know why you keep jumping on and off, Eric? I think Eric's getting disconnected. I think your bow tie is too loud.
You're interfering.
You're breaking up your Wi-Fi signal. So, so one other thing that I think that we can benefit from, and I think Jess alluded to this with the bringing the whole festival feel and talking about the certifications and the trainings and just the cybersecurity career field as a whole, is the opportunity for mentorship. And Mary, I saw earlier that you posted this. If you give me permission to share this, I mean, you put it on LinkedIn.
I did.
So you put sharing your story and knowledge has so much power for you and those who receive it. The first pilot, women in cybersecurity, Women's Society of Cyberjutsu, hashtag small tribes. Cohort is going well. There's so much passion and willingness to help each other. Ladies in varying stages of their career have varying experiences. I can't read, which is helpful to others around them. Small Tribes is a mastermind like peer-to-peer mentorship program. I'm gonna go ahead and, but
just go to my LinkedIn. You can see.
Yes, just go to the LinkedIn and see it. I'm sorry. I'm stumbling on my words. I think I had too much coffee before. But talk about that. Talk about the opportunity to kind of mentor, because that is something that I think we still struggle with, right? Because you have, and again, just kind of giving people a peek behind the curtain. The cybersecurity community has a problem where you have some people who are trying to do the right thing and have these mentorship cohorts, people who are trying to do trainings. And then you have people who over the course of maybe the last 3 years started developing, these boot camp style trainings. And basically it's just a quick way to catch a few bucks. And honestly, you're leaving the people out, but now it leaves them feeling, jaded and disappointed in the community. And it's really hard to trust people to mentor you, as well as it's really hard for the mentors to want to do things because now they're catching flack for those who are doing things nefariously. So if you ladies want to speak to the importance of mentoring and helping others, especially with what you're doing with Wicked Six, with the women and the cyber games, especially with college kids, because that's something that they're really going to need in the future. And we really need to find a way that works for everyone, a better way to kind of connect those who need the mentorship with actual mentors. So if you could touch on that for a second, I would appreciate it.
Mentorship is very important, but a lot of folks go into it with wrong expectations. The mentee goes into it expecting the mentor to give them all of the answers, to walk them through every single thing, to just know all of the things. Right. And sometimes the mentor goes into it thinking, I'm just going to give this person all the information. I'm not going to teach them. I'm not going to help them, lead them to the water so they can drink, type of thing. Mm-hmm. With the small tribes, we did one 2021 for small business owners. And what I really like about the small groups versus individual one-on-one, you get perspectives from everybody in the group. Right. So you're not just getting the one person's perspective that may or may not have any experience in that area that you're questioning. Nothing wrong with one-on-one mentorships. I have individual mentors too. Jessica's one of them. But it's important to have programs and opportunities for folks to talk to people that are more experienced in the space, because again, it helps build their confidence. Right. They're getting the information they need, the resources that they need. They can see themselves in the representation, based on whoever the person is. They can see themselves in that position, and it encourages them to want to keep pushing. And plus, there's just so much knowledge out there. Like you said, there's a lot of folks that try to take advantage of COVID and people getting laid off, and they did some shady stuff. But that's just a small bucket of people in the industry. There's plenty of other folks that want to help, want to mentor, want to share that information, want to teach, want to train. And we as a community have to uplift those people, and not really, let's make the note that, hey, this person's probably not the most legit, but we need to focus on uplifting the ones that are, which will overshadow the ones that aren't.
Well said. Well said. Jess, I imagine that you have a similar but different type of challenge, because you have the college kids or the younger demographic who, for example, the ones that I come across, it's almost like when again, going back to my geekdom, I compare it to when someone had superpowers in the comic books, and they didn't want to share the superpowers. So they were a little standoffish. They were a little off to the corner. They didn't want to share that information. And it took someone like a Professor X, if you're talking about the X-Men, to kind of bring that out of them and bring them to their full potential. What challenges do you face? Because I know you have a lot of students who probably are, really talented, but they might shy under the pressure or under certain circumstances. So how do you go about, creating that mentor-mentee relationship, whether it's with your coaches or other, other staff members?
It's interesting. It happens naturally, very similar to what Mary's describing. I got the honor to participate in one of the small tribes for the Women's Society of Cyberjutsu. What I liked about it as a mentor and a mentee is that when you're collectively in a group, you don't have the whole weight of mentorship on your shoulders. And as a mentee, you have a little bit more confidence because you're not the only one listening to the advice, right? So in other words, somebody give you some advice and you're like, I don't know if that's good advice or not, but then other people are chiming in. So you get kind of the full aspect of it. This generation of cyber athletes, as we call them, they're actually pretty good together. They like to share. They like to, hey, that was kind of cool. Can you show me that? And learn from each other. Bringing mentors in from colleges and such, the tech mentors have a lot to offer to help the students understand how do they take the knowledge that they have worked on and honed with their friends and peers and through the games that they've played. But now how do you really connect it to a job? How do you make it so that you can articulate it in an interview or express it on a resume so that it translates into skill that helps them, find the job that fits what they're looking to achieve? And that is where it really takes a community. It really takes volunteers from the community who understand what the role takes in terms of skills and experience to really bring that to the students and help mentor them as they work that through. The other perspective is a lot of the mentorship from the coaches and such, it's not as much technical because a lot of the technical learnings in cyber games is almost Montessori, right? It's self-learned. Do you want to get good at cybersecurity games? Play as often as you can, right? It's all about seeing things again and again, being able to recognize, that's this kind of a challenge. I can go look and I can use this tool, and then kind of work on, the last 20% that helps you solve it. So the mentorship, I think, is really about translating what they experience and learn in games to real life and how it can be valuable to them. And so it's a little different, but it still has the same similarities that Mary was expressing, in that there is power in mentorship through groups that aren't as scary and almost more valuable in some ways, because people want to mentor, but they don't know how to be a mentor. They don't know how much information is enough information, how much information is not enough information. So doing it as a group really helps to self-calibrate as that group so that you get the best experience of mentorship.
No, absolutely. I'm probably one of the people who gives up too much information in the first call. Like I'm like, blah. And then they're like, yeah, what? And then it's like, okay, let's break it down. So ladies, I definitely enjoyed this conversation. I know we're probably a little bit over on time. So I'm going to jump to the final question, and then you can let everyone in the chat know how to find you, more information on the Wicked Six games, as well as the US Cyber Games. And we will wrap. So, okay. Eric says they had a power outage. Okay. Well, again, you should have just plug in your bow tie. It's like a generator. So final question. I'm sure Mary knows this question, but Jess, I will leave it to you first. What is your why?
Ooh, what is my why? My why is through cyber sports, we can create a stronger community and upskill folks to help protect what's most important as we grow in the digital economy.
Okay. See, that was damn, that was good.
I had no clue, by the way. I was just full of that. It's pretty true. I'd say it's genuine. Using the games to diversify.
Yeah.
I want cyber as a sport before I die. That's my simple one.
It's like SaaS is something as a service, cyber as a sport.
Sport. Oh, we got to get that on a shirt. Okay.
X
So
as a sport, yes.
Yes. Mary, what about you? Has your why changed in the, I don't know, what is this? Like your fourth appearance now?
No, it's the same. My why is to help people. I grew up with a lot of things, being a military brat, and I had a lot of privilege, and so I want to be able to help others gain that privilege as well. So I want to help others be successful, whether it's in cyber or business or health or whatever industry they're in. I want to help.
Boom. There it is. See, this is why we need more women around us, because they are so precise with what they say and they make it sound so good. Because where were you last week when I was rambling on?
You should have called me. I might have been a happy hour.
So, oh man. Well, ladies and gentlemen, everybody watching, this has been InfoSec Unplugged, and my guests Jessica Gulick and Mary Galloway. Thank you, ladies. Thank you. Again, special shout out to Eric Bellardo, who did give us an appearance before his necktie killed the power in his community. But ladies, if you want to just give some information on how they can find you, your socials, the more information on what you ladies are working on, now is your chance.
I'll start. Awesome. I am on LinkedIn, so I think it's the Mary Galloway is the end of the name on there. Connect with me. It's open. Cyberjutsu Con, Cyberjutsu Awards. Submit your CFPs and your nominations. Check out Defender Academy. That's another one of the programs we're supporting this year in April. Information's on my LinkedIn. Obviously, Wicked 6. We want you all to be at Wicked 6. It's going to be great. Lots of good conversations, lots of good games, lots of appearances from people that you probably know. Come check it out. And then that's what we're doing. And if you want to volunteer, let me know. Always looking for volunteers. Cyberjutsu Con, June 24th in Northern Virginia. Okay. Yes, it's going to be fun. Davin's going to do a workshop, and you'll get to see him in a sparkly jacket. It'll be wicked.
I went from going to doing a workshop. Okay.
All right. We discussed this already.
Yeah, I know. All right, let me make sure I have this.
And Raisa's Con is October 2023 in Philly, right? It's in Philly?
Yeah.
Okay. Temple University.
Moved it.
Yeah. Okay.
Jess, how do we find you?
You can find me on LinkedIn as well, Jessica Gulick, Gulick. You can find me on Twitter at Cyber Risk Lady. And do reach out, do connect. We are looking for coaches and tech mentors, volunteers. We're looking for fans. We're looking for help to spread the word, help amplify our social. And of course, we're always looking for great sponsors to make this kind of activity happen. It doesn't happen magically. So any help is most appreciated. And you can please check out wicked6.com, playcyber.com. And I think we talked about the US Cyber Games Season 3 is coming up on June 1st. We have the IC3.games, which is an international championship in August. And I do believe we're bringing back the charity battle. We are bringing back the charity battle. It will be on the Friday after Black Hat. So more information coming up. You guys can check out playcyber.com, and we'll have all of our games and events listed. And I really want to encourage all of you, men and women, if you go to playcyber.com, right now it's free. And it will be, if you sign up now, it will be all year this year for you. And that is the Play Cyber Global League. Monzi has done a fantastic job putting that together. We just launched it like 2 weeks ago. We'll be rolling out more and more member benefits as we go throughout the year. So now is the time to go ahead and be part of that. If you sign up for Wicked 6, you'll automatically get signed up for the Global Cyber League as well. So Davin, thank you so much.
No problem. And see, they're making it easy for you. Sign up for one, you get both. And apparently, I guess Eric is also now volunteering me that I also will be
Yes.
emptying the tech track
We'll
at
see.
RiceCon.
Oh, at
And
Houston.
I'm that's what I'm assuming. And also, he mentioned Mega Fan.
Mega fans
Yeah,
for
we have
Cyber
mega
Games,
fans. Yep.
right?
Okay.
Are you not a mega fan yet?
You don't
That's-
he doesn't have an avatar.
You mega fans, get lovely little gift packages from Play Cyber with like stickers,
Why am I not a Mega
jerseys,
fan?
and jackets because you're like on the board of stuff.
Oh,
You can't
You're
be at
right.
all.
okay, you're right.
But yeah, we'll make that happen. If Kimberly's watching, I'm sure she'll reach out.
Okay. Well, and yes, he's Mega Fan.
We
Well,
just wrapped you in. Are you
yeah,
going to go for coach too or tech mentor?
I'm gonna have to talk to my wife. I gotta get. There's like a bunch of permission slips I need signed now. So, well, like I said, in this for InfoSec Unplugged, I totally believe in giving out flowers while they can smell them. So, Mary, you already know I appreciate you and everything that you're doing. It's always love. Jess, we had a fateful meeting at DreamHack, and I am super glad that we got to meet and got a chance to meet and develop a relationship. In any way I can help and support. Apparently, I don't have a choice, even if I didn't. But I will support in any way I can. So, thank you for being a guest. Thank you for sharing the information. For more information, please go check out wicked6.com as well as the uscybergames.com and ic3.games. Go check all that information out. Please support it. I don't know if they can sign up to be mega fans. I don't know, but just go check it out and sign up for it. It's a great thing. It's a great thing that they're doing and putting on. It's a great way to get our kids more invested in, cybersecurity and technology as a career. And like I said, it just demystifies everything and gives everybody that sense of community. So this has been another episode of InfoSec Unplugged. Second show back. I promise I'm gonna get better. I promise I'm gonna get back to it. If you like what we're doing here, please, you can support me by doing super chats, super thanks, just liking and commenting and subscribing so we can boost the algorithm for YouTube. That's why I'm trying to behave myself a little bit more this season. Also, you can support on Buy Me a Coffee. I desperately need it with everything I got going on. It'll either go to coffee, and whatever I have left over, we'll probably buy a couple more computers and Xboxes that I have piling up in my man cave because my wife won't let me put it anywhere else. So but make sure you tune in next week. I have another great guest, another great show lined up. And again, thank you to the pack. Thank you to everybody watching. And again, thank you to my guests for joining. Eric, thank you. And thank your loud ass jacket and your bow tie. And I will see you all next week. Take care.
Thanks.